When females hear from males and some older females that females should dress modestly, don't they understand that it is completely for their benefit that somebody is saying this to them? It's not about power. It's not about taking away autonomy. It's for your benefit. I wish y'all would understand it, and I'm hoping that you'll understand it after hearing this. In this article, this individual states that women who show off their skin and body are asking for it. Yes, a small percentage of people are saying that for that particular reason. That if you dress a certain way, you're all but asking for it. Granted, but in totality, that is not what saying dress modestly is about. It's if you don't start at a young age having these conversations, what is the appropriate age to have the conversation of dressing modestly? Is it 18? Is it 22? Is it 25? What is the appropriate age that you have this conversation? Because it almost comes off as if she's saying, well, they're saying it at too young of an age, or they're shaming little girls. When do you have the conversation? When do you try to get them to understand that there are consequences that come with doing X, Y, or Z? I have another video talking about closing your coin purse. Young ladies sitting with their legs wide open. It's not a good look. And it actually, especially with the older females, it gets negative attention. It absolutely gets the attention of the people that you don't want to get attention from. This dictating what you can and cannot put on your bodies. Again, if it's fathers telling their daughters, or even brothers telling their sisters, any male relative talking to the female in question, is it about power? Is it about saying, I want to be able to have control over you because that's all I want in life, is to say that I was able to run your life just for kicks? You ever consider that when a father tells his daughter, hey, well, you can't go out there dressed like that? Is he being a prude? Is he not with the times? He doesn't understand fashion? Or is it because he and or his other male children are going to have to deal with that? She goes out in whatever you want to imagine that is quote unquote fashion, or that's what we do now. That's how we do it now. And word gets back to him, oh, she's at such and such and such, and she's being mauled by a bunch of males. Is the father, the brother, the uncle, are they supposed to sit at home and just say, well, we'll see her when she gets back? Or are they tasked with going out there and getting her and bringing her back to safety? And for those who say, oh, well, that's what they're supposed to do, no. You don't Men are not just meant to just step in the line of fire just cause. If a father says don't do X and you do that, like take the movie Taken. I haven't seen it in a while, but I do believe Liam, I can't remember his last name, Liam Lee's the father in Taken, he didn't want his daughter to go overseas with her girlfriend, but the mother talked him into it, into letting her go. And who had to go get her? I mean, the whole movie was he was against it. The mother said, "Oh, let her go and be, and against his better judgment, she went over there and it all hit the fan." Who went over there? Who had to put themselves in harm's way to get the daughter to bring her back to safety? So is it because the men are saying it because they want to have control, or they don't want additional things to deal with, as if they don't have enough to deal with? Could that be the case? Is it about power, or is it like, well, I'm trying not to deal with an unnecessary situation? I think it's the latter. I personally think it's the latter. It's no, well, if he loved her, no, 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 no. Doesn't the father have a wife to take care of? Doesn't the father have other children to take care of? Doesn't the brother have a family that he would like to have at some point in time in the future? But they're expendable because she wanted to do what she wanted to do. I think most men are thinking ahead. They're thinking far in the future. That's my personal opinion. Veils are for the rich, but nobody else. They were used as a means of identifying which women are respectable and which women are publicly available to men. Upper class women in ancient Mesopotamia wore their veils wrapped loosely over their hair, but the poor women were not allowed. So veils were a means to differentiate if you were a respectable woman or if you were a lesser than respectable woman. And we can just jump to conclusions that lesser respectable women were the prostitutes. There was a need to know who was wife material, who would be sought after for the express purpose of marriage, and who would be sought after for the express purpose of brown chicken, brown cow. There were times when women wanted to make sure that nobody would be confuse them for somebody else. We have women now arguing that I should be able to wear whatever I like. And if a man says, but you look the same as the strippers. Well, just because I look like that don't mean I am. But why would you want to cause confusion? Why do you think anybody, let alone the men, have the time to try to figure out whether you are or you not? Why would you want to create a whole conversation about, well, are you a stripper or are you not? As opposed to them seeing you and starting the conversation to try to figure out X, Y, and Z. Let's go here. Let's sit down and talk. No, as if there's unlimited time for everybody. You got to try to look at them and figure out whether or not they just got off of work at Magic City, or they were just feeling themselves and just wanted to put on the stripper outfit. Whereas before, there was a line. You could not legally wear a veil if you were not supposed to. Why create confusion? But it's about power. Men want to have power over you, right? Not because we want to make it easier for if those individuals who are looking to get married were readily sought after, easily spottable. Don't you want to be easily spottable? But again, this is specifically talking about fathers and husbands. The rule in previous periods of time, it was always about the father and husband providing for the safety of his children and his wives. It's not about control. It's about, hey, I don't want to have to deal with this unnecessarily. Why? There's enough going on. There's enough going on in my head to where I should not have to throw something on top because my daughter wants to dress X. Why would men willingly just say go out and do you, just when it's going down I'll be there, as opposed to saying no, you can't wear that, what you doing? No, you can't do that, and she sneaks out. Again, 1600s, rich women made to wear hijabs. It was symbolizing the upper class. Poor women who worked as laborers were able to avoid wearing it because it was impractical for farming. A veiled woman silently announced that her husband was rich enough to keep her idle. Again, differentiation. A woman who was covered up in a hijab, that meant she did not work. Upper class, lower class. Marriage material, play material. It was about differentiation. Why is being able to easily be spotted a problem? Don't you want to be known as, yes, this woman is X, this woman is Y. So even if they're walking down the street, not necessarily together, but they're walking down the street, there is no confusion. So limiting or completely eliminating confusion is about control. Okay. I mean, if you look at this, just looking at the life expectancy, most of it says if you live to the age of 15, you are expected to live another 54, life expected to live another 34 to 41. I mean, you can look at this yourself. But as life expectancy goes up, things are going to change. There's less of a fear that this birthing age female will succumb during her pregnancy, or the children that are born by her will make it to an age where you're not in fear. As life expectancy increases, you have time to really pay attention to what's going on around. When you have children dropping left and right of you, you're focused on, oh, what do we need to do? What do we need to do to make sure that more of us survive? Because that's what it's all about, is the continuation of the species, regardless of it mammal or the cold-blooded animal or insects, what have you, single cell organism. We all want to continue on. No species is like, oh, I just can't wait to be the last of us. And when you become readily aware and you have less concerns of, oh, well, I got to have about 10 kids because I know 5 of them are not going to make it to the age of 10, then you start saying, okay, well, we can see other things that's going on in the world. Now that they're making it to a certain age, now we need to protect them even more. And yes, that's going to be clothing, putting clothing on, covering up, less willingness to have them exposed. It goes from a fear, are they going to make it, to a fear of, oh, is something going to happen to them? It's not just about control. It's for the betterment. So just consider the fact that dressing modestly is for your benefit. Do you want to call it shaming? Fine. But it's shaming with a purpose. And it's not about, oh, I just trying to hurt you. Oh, it's not about, oh, just I want to have control. I have nothing else in this world to do but try to control you. There's more to the world than you. You are not the center of the universe. But we would like you to be here in as safe a manner as possible. And if that's saying no Daisy Dukes or midriffs or cat suits, body suits, it's for your benefit. It's not just cause. And again, why are you arguing to not be differentiated? You've got Ice Baby, and Red Rover come over doing backup dancer stuff. I was talking with somebody. I was like, Matt, could you imagine Whitney Houston doing what Red Rover does? Could you imagine Queen Latifah doing the stuff that these female artists are doing now? You cannot differentiate them. Backup dancer, headliner, lead, I mean to say. There is no differentiation. That's what saying modesty is necessary, because it absolutely creates a line of demarcation. There is no confusing publicly. Now, I'm not saying you can't be X behind closed doors or X in your house. I'm saying out in the public. Don't you want to not be mistaken for fun time? Don't you want to let it be known that you're long time? Anyway, if you like what you're hearing, please consider subscribing. Leave something in the comments, would greatly be appreciated. Thank you.